and watch Savannah News TV. We are live. Savannah News TV. We create awareness about our place in Africa. Savannah News TV. We are distinct, we are focused, we deliver top-notch news in Savannah News TV. Equitable reporting without fear or favor. Savannah News TV. Things a positive change to us and our environment is our aim. Savannah News TV. Tune in and watch Savannah News TV. We are live. Savannah News TV. Our CEO Prince Radekonde Oluchimi Jaffa. Savannah News TV. I'm a living witness. Keep watching Savannah News TV. Like and subscribe to our page on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at Savannah News TV.
Yeah, good afternoon from here, from our Toronto studio, and good evening back home in Nigeria and in Africa. It's exactly 2 p.m. here in Toronto, Canada. And as earlier advertised, we say we are bringing to your doorstep all over the world this afternoon from here a guest, an Amazon of our time. She's coming here to tell us what we don't really know. We believe that everything here in advanced country here in Canada is perfect, okay, and you will hear some revelations today from this gentlewoman. She is from the Mennonite tribe here in North America. It will be revealing. You'll be surprised what is really going on in this part of the world, where we called developed nation. Please sit back as I bring in my guest this afternoon from here. I know it's evening back in Africa. Enjoy the rest of the discussion. Thank you. Good evening, Miss Lois Bowman. You are welcome to Savannah News Television live program.
Good evening. It's great to be here.
Thank you very much, Ma. Well, first of all, we have to thank you from Savannah News Television for your time. We know we know that you are a very busy person, but at least we are able to track you down and for honoring our invitation to speak on a matter of concern generally. And I'm referring to the Mennonites. Let's start immediately without wasting much of your time, because I know you are a very busy person. First of all, who is Loisa Bowman?
Well, as you say, I am from a people called Mennonites, and many people may not have ever heard about Mennonites or know who they are, what they do. I used to be part of that community, but due to some things I didn't like, I left 4 years ago, and I'm now making my way in the world. Despite having come from this kind of backward, sheltered life where we didn't associate with the outside world much. So it's like coming from a different planet or a different country, even though I was born here in Canada and grew up here. My parents were born here, my grandparents were born here. We go back a long way, like 200 years my family has been in Canada. But we're living a different lifestyle than you would think.
Okay.
Than anybody.
Okay. I don't want to bring to bring out the cat from the bag right now. All I want to know is, all my viewers want to know is, who is Loisa Bowman? A wife, a mother, a grandmother. I want to know, how old are you? And just in brief.
Yeah. I'm a mother of 8 children.
8 children?
Yes, 8 children.
Wow.
And I'm also a grandmother. I have 5 grandchildren.
Wow.
And I am an author. I have 3 published books. I'm a graduate of Toronto Film School. And currently I am working as a nanny while I write my next book, which gives me some income, a place to live, and time to write, which is my passion. So that is basically who I am.
Thank you very much for that introduction. You know, it's unusual to see Canadians having up to 8 children. What really happened? What is the motivating factor that you have 8 children? I mean, because what we know in Africa is that the white people, you know, some of them just want only one child, maybe 2 children, maximum 3. They don't go beyond that. But here you are as a mother having 8 children.
That's correct. Yeah, my oldest just turned 31, and my youngest is 9.
Your oldest is 31. Your youngest is 9.
Correct.
Please,
Yes.
please, Mrs. Loisa, how old are you, please, if we may want to know?
I am 51.
51, and you have an older child who is 31. So you gave back to your first child at 20.
Yeah, at 20 years old, I started my family, and I had my last baby at age 42. So
Wow.
it
This
was
is
a long time looking after children, and before that, I was born into a family of 13 children.
you were born into a family of 13 children.
Yes, I'm the oldest of 13 children. My parents had 13 children. So basically, I have been looking after a lot of babies in my life.
Wow. So you mean the 13 children is from your mother alone?
Yes, yes.
So your mom gave back to 13 children, and you gave back to 8 children.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like my family is not very big because I only have 8 children. My mother had 5 more. So.
Wow. Okay. We will come there. We will still come to the reason why you have your mom, your people, your community have babies, many babies. You know, we'll come there. We'll come there. Please. Now we have known who Miss Loisa Bauman is. The next question is, what is the meaning of Mennonite, and what do they stand for? What is their notion? What is their belief? I want you to tell the general world now the meaning of Mennonite, because most people don't know that there is a community, there is a tribe or a community like that existing on this earth, especially in an advanced country like Canada. Please, my viewers across the world want you to educate them. What is the meaning of Mennonite, and what it stands for, and why is it Mennonite? What do they stand for? Thank you.
Okay, well, I might have to give you a little bit of history if you don't mind.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Mennonite started about 500 years ago in Europe, in Switzerland, Germany, Netherlands. Before that, there was only the Catholic Christian Church. The Mennonites are Christians; they are a branch of Christians. But before the 1500s, there was only Catholics. But then a lot of people began disagreeing with the Catholic Church, and they split and became the Protestants. And then the Protestants split even further into different groups, and the Mennonites was one of them. And they were called radical because they had their own beliefs. They didn't believe in going to war. They wanted to go back to a New Testament type of life, like as close as possible to the apostles' life, like as you know, follow Jesus' commands. Thou shalt not kill. You know, no idolatry. Like they didn't want any images and statues in their churches. They wanted to live a very humble, simple life. But the main problem the government had with them was that they refused to go to fight, because back then it was very important that everybody supported the government when it came to war, because there were a lot of wars, And these people refused, and so they were seen as heretics.
Hmm.
And so the government outlawed them. Wherever they lived, they were basically banned from wherever they lived, and they had to, they had to go from place to place wherever they could find some safety. They would hide in mountains, in forests, in caves, wherever they could. And but they were hunted, like the government hunted them down, and they were persecuted in Europe for about 200 years.
Hmm.
When they caught them, they would arrest them, they would ban them, they would execute them, they would torture them, they would bury them alive, burn them at the stake, behead them, drown them, anything, like the cruelest methods of death they could think of. And all because these people, they wanted to live a simple life, and they refused to give in to the government. And so in about 1700, William Penn, who is before that, I should tell you about Menno Simons, who the Mennonites are named after a man named Menno Simons. He was a leader. He used to be a priest. He was a Catholic priest. And then he found out about these people and their beliefs, and he read the Bible, and he saw that he believed that they were right. And so he became a leader. And the government, of course, really wanted to find him. They really wanted him because he was a leader, and they especially hunted down the leaders so that this group would stop growing. But it didn't matter what they did. More and more people kept joining this faith because they believed that was right. And so, but they never caught Menno Simons. He died a natural death. But this is who the Mennonites are named after, this man. But anyways, in the year 1700, around there, William Penn, who was an Englishman, lived in the UK. He respected these people because they were honest, they were hardworking. Wherever they managed to make a living, they did really well. They were skilled and they were honest. And so he invited them to his land in North America, in a place called Penn's Land, which is now called Pennsylvania. And he invited these people to immigrate to North America to live on his land because he needed people to live on his land. And so gradually, almost all the Mennonites immigrated to North America. And so about 100 years later, in 1800, it was after the War of Independence in the United States, and the Mennonites were not as welcome after that because they were loyalists, and the loyalists were loyal to the British king because he helped them, he saved them basically, and brought them to his land where they could have religious freedom. And so they didn't want to turn against him, but then the Americans didn't really like this, that they were loyalists, and so they went to Canada. That's when they came to Canada around 1800, and this is a lot of, now there's probably millions of Mennonites in North America. There's actually a lot of them. If you know where to look, there's a lot of Mennonites here now. So that is basically the background and how they started.
So for how long is a Mennonite now in Canada? For how long have they stayed? And where are they? Where are they in Canada? What part of Canada are they? We can find them.
They've been in Canada for about 200 years.
Wow.
They were one of the first people here. They were friends with the natives. They made treaties with the natives, and they were friends with them. And there are there's a lot of Mennonites in Ontario, and also in Manitoba, Alberta. Probably in every province there's some, but there's a lot in Ontario, and there's a lot of different groups of Mennonites because they're so stubborn. The people are stubborn, and once they have, they believe something, they read something in the Bible, and they believe that they're right, like how they interpreted it, and then they disagree with other Mennonites, and then they split. This is why there's so many different groups, because once they had a split because some people wanted a tractor and others didn't. One time it was a bicycle because some wanted bicycle and some didn't, so they split. They split over the silliest things. And the families were split and different groups formed, and nowadays there's all different varieties of Mennonites. Like the one that I came from, particularly strict with not having nothing to do with the outside world. They absolutely will not discuss religion or anything with outsiders. They will do business. They're very good businessmen, and they will happily do business with you. But if you ask anything personal about their beliefs, they won't talk. They will not talk. They will,
So please, can you tell us more about the beliefs of the Mennonites? Where you come from?
Well, they believe in a believer's church, like a voluntary church of believers, made of believers who believe in Jesus Christ and following His word, and they believe in believers' baptism. They do not believe in baptizing babies. They believe that as an adult, you can choose to join the church and then get baptized as a believer. And if you backslide, like if you sin and break the rules, well then they will kick you out because you're not a believer anymore. Like they have a very strict set of rules that you have to follow, and if you don't, then you're shunned. And shunning is terrible. It's the worst thing that can happen because then nobody talks to you at all. Like it's just you're on your own. Nobody talks to you. Not even your children, your parents. You're completely on your own.
So, okay. Now let me ask you, because from the little thing I know about the Mennonites after I met with you, what is the reason why Mennonites don't allow their children to go beyond? I mean, to have education more than when they are 14. When they are 14 years of age, they stop schooling. What is the reason behind that?
On their 14th birthday is their last day of school. It doesn't matter if they're in the middle of the school year or the day they turn 14, they quit school. Most of them are happy to quit school. They don't want to go to school anymore, but there are some who would like to. But this is because they don't want their children mingling with the outside world and learning bad habits such as drinking and drugs and sex, all these kind of things. They don't want their children exposed to those kind of things, like crime and all these things, because they just believe it's a bad influence on their children, and they want to keep them innocent and pure, and I don't know.
So
that's yeah.
So you mean at 14 they stop schooling, no more education?
That's right. Yeah.
So
I was lucky enough to finish grade 8 because my birthday is in September, and I finished grade 8 in June. So I finished my 8th grade elementary school education. But there are many who, if their birthday is December and they turn 14 in December, they stop going to school in December. They will not go to school one day after they're 14.
So now, when your belief now said you cannot go to school beyond when you are 14 years of age, that is in the elementary whatever stage of education.
Mm-hmm.
Do you people still think of? Okay, now let me ask you: when you are sick, when people are sick, who do you consult?
Yeah, they use the doctors.
Okay, thank you. So now, when your own doctrine says you cannot go beyond 14, if everybody in the whole world say, okay, we're not going beyond 14, where will you get the doctors that treats you guys?
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
So it's
a system that would not work. If the whole world were to adopt this system, it wouldn't work.
Thank you. And also, I learned that you people don't own cars, you don't own vehicle, you don't own television, you don't own television, you don't own laptops, you don't own whatever. You don't own cars. How do you travel
Well, we travel a horse and buggy.
Come again?
A horse and buggy.
Horse and buggy.
We hitch a horse to a buggy or to a carriage, and that is how they travel.
So you travel with horses and buggy. Just at the back of the buggy, the horse will be in the front and taking you.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this question, ma. Please, assuming you are living where you are, which part of Ontario are you? Are you from? That is the Mennonite.
Originally from Waterloo County, near Waterloo or St. Jacobs.
No, where your own? I mean your own particular one. Where are you from? Your own community, the Mennonite community. Where in Ontario? Your own.
Yeah, Waterloo County.
Waterloo County.
So I grew up in Waterloo County, and then the community, or the tribe, you might say, grew so fast that there were no more homes, there were no more farms to buy. Everything was like, there's nothing to buy, so they had to relocate. And so some people moved away to Grey County, which is north of here. Like it's close to Owen Sound. And it's in Ontario. It's just a different area.
Like how many kilometers away from Toronto?
It's an hour and a half drive.
An hour and a half drive on a horse or on a car? I don't understand.
Oh, that would be with the car, yeah.
Oh, so now if people are coming to town, do you still drive your horses to town, or I don't understand? How do you come to town? That's what I'm driving at.
Yeah, if the town is close enough, you can go with the horse. But if you live there and you drive horse and buggy and you need to go to Toronto for some reason, let's say to the hospital, then you will have to hire somebody to drive you.
Oh,
you'll have to ask somebody with the car.
Oh, so you still enter car, but you cannot own a car.
Yeah, exactly.
So to you, ma, how do you see that kind of contradiction? You cannot own a car, but you can hire a car from somebody to drive you, maybe like Uber, like taxi, right?
Exactly.
Because why I'm asking this is that I've been in Toronto for almost close to 6 years now. I've never seen a horse and a buggy on the road of Toronto.
You would never.
So are you telling that Mennonites don't come to Toronto?
They go to Toronto, but they go there with the car.
With a car. And Mennonites said that you should not own a car. And the same Mennonites say you should not. Okay, let me ask you, when you come to Toronto, what do you come to do most of the time? Mennonites.
Almost always to see doctors.
To see doctors. But you people refuse to go to school to be educated to be a doctor.
Sorry?
You people refuse to go to school to be educated to be a doctor. Am I right?
Yeah, people have to go to school for that, yeah.
No, I mean Mennonites don't go to school because they don't go to school beyond 14 years of age.
No, they don't go to school to become doctors.
No. But you people can patronize a doctor.
I mean there are Mennonite groups who do, but not the one that I came from. So because some are more liberal, like there are Mennonites who do have cars, but not all of them. Some groups do and some don't. That's one reason why some groups split, because one group wanted the car, the other group did not, so they split. So, but the one I came from definitely did not have cars.
Have cars. Okay, you in the earlier of this discussion, you mentioned that Mennonites are hardworking people. Please, you said that businessmen and hardworking people. Please, I want to know what type of business are they into and how hard work is it? What are they really doing? What are they really into? Are they rich?
Well, in the past, almost all of them were farmers, but it has changed. Right now, most of them are business owners, industries. They do welding, steelwork, woodwork. They have high-tech shops. They have computerized everything. They have robots. They have everything.
But do they use all that in their homes, like computer and whatever, in their own home, private homes?
They use computers, mostly for business. They're not supposed to use them like for personal reasons, like for entertainment at all. They're allowed to have them for business.
So
they don't have TV, they don't have radio, they don't have video games, they don't have iPhones.
So how does your 8 children live their life under you as a mom, as a mother? How does your 8 children unwind? How do they enjoy themselves at home when you don't have access to computer, to video games, to television? You know, so I don't understand. And you people are in that place which is outskirts of the town, your community. So how do they unwind? How do they enjoy their lives in this advanced country? Your children.
Well, they do a lot of like going together with friends and talking, and the boys play baseball, they play hockey, and people do a lot, read a lot, they play board games, but they do work a lot of the time. Like they don't have as much time to play as a lot of as normal people would, but because they work on the farm. They use horses to do the farm work, like it's field work. They use the horses, and so that takes up a lot more time than if you had a tractor. Then you could do it in 10 times as fast. So everything takes longer. I guess there's not a whole lot of things that they do in their spare time. They have the children, of course, have toys. They have dolls. They have toy trucks and other toys, but just not electronic toys.
Did you, as a mother, did you care to ask why are my children not having a video game, not having a computer laptop with them, especially in this country where it's almost free for everybody? Or did you ask the question, why are they not having it?
I guess while I was there, I didn't really ask that question. It was just so normal for us. We didn't really miss it. We had so many other things going on that honestly we didn't miss it because we never had it. You can't miss what you never had, right? Like if we had the video games and then they were taken away, that would be a different thing. But because we never had them, we never missed them, I guess. And even now, I have TV now, and I hardly ever watch it because I didn't grow up watching it.
Wow.
So it's just I read or I write. It's crazy because I don't think that the children are really missing a lot by not having these things. But having said that, when my children do come to visit me, I have iPads for them. And they love those iPads to death. They just play with them all weekend long.
Really?
Yeah, they play with those iPads all weekend long because they cannot have them at home with their father, and they just can't get enough of them. I always take them with me when I go to pick them up, and they play with them in the car while we're driving, and they play with them every minute that I allow them to.
Don't you think, as a mother, that the belief of Mennonites are killing the talent of some young generation?
Oh, I think there is some great talent there. I know there is great talent there, but they're just not allowed to do anything with it. Like, for example, my mother once told me that she wanted to be a nurse. And I know that there are great artists. I've seen artwork that people draw things and artists, and I'm sure there's lots of other skills that people have that you don't ever even hear about or find out about because it's not talked about. Because the girls are expected to get married, have a family, and from there they just cook and clean and do laundry, and they have humongous, huge gardens that have to take care of, and then they have to take care of all the fruits and vegetables in the garden and put them away for the winter, and it is a lot of work. And they have to look after the lawns and the children, and they have so many things to do. They have to sew their own clothes because they have a separate style of clothes, and they make them themselves. So that takes up a lot of time. They do a lot of quilts, and make quilts and other things. So there is a lot of work to do.
Oh yeah, you just mentioned that you sold the women, that is the wives, your wives or the Mennonites, their main job is just to work at home, clean the house, the lawn, cook the food and whatever, and sew the clothes because you have a special type of clothes. Please, what type of clothes do you people wear? Is it different from what we are wearing? I don't know.
Yeah, it is. Um, the women and girls wear long dresses. Like everybody wears the same style of clothes and basically the same material. There's a little variety in the material, but they're long dresses with an apron and a cape, and then they have a bonnet. I have one that I'm going to show you.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the bonnet. We always have the bonnet on to wear a bonnet.
Liz, really? Can you just wear it? Let my viewers see it on you.
Well, the thing is that we always had our hair back in a tight bun. Always, like for so many years, I had to pull my hair back in a bun that I have bald spots now, and they will never grow again because I had to have my hair like that all the time. And then I had this bonnet on top, and it's not the same because I don't have a bun anymore. But
okay, this is how you dress. Oh my God.
So the married women wore these all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time. Not in bed, but
I know.
not any other. All the other times you wear them. Girls before they're married, they don't wear them except they wear them to church. But married women have to wear them all the time.
Okay, you mentioned in our discussion that where you people are settled before, that is around Waterloo area in Ontario, that is in Canada here, that your population grew, that you don't have lands again to build your houses, you don't have land for farming, you have to migrate. Let me ask you, what is responsible for the growth of your population? When you people are just a family in a particular place, do you marry outside yourself or you marry yourself to bear children? Because I know definitely with the quantum of children that each wife or each housewife delivers, I'm sure there is a bound because like you now have 8, your mother has 15. So you can imagine that kind of population. Your sisters too may have another 8 or 10 or like that. So I know the growth is rapid. But do you marry outside? Maybe coming to marry somebody from other places and bring to Immunite, or can you explain? Or you marry yourself because you are one family. How do you marry?
Yeah, you can only marry inside the community or inside the tribe, you would say. You cannot marry outside. Not in my group. I know there are other groups who do, but I'm just talking about the group that I know about and grew up. There is a lot of cousins, first cousins who get married. A lot.
First cousins marry themselves?
Yes.
Please, can you define the first cousins? I want to know what is the difference about first cousins you're talking about. Is it your brother, sister? How?
This is like as if my sister had a son and I had a daughter, they could get married.
What?
My sister's son could marry my daughter, and this goes on a lot. It's like because in the beginning, like this particular group began in early 1900s, and there were only a few families, and they married each other, and in the beginning there were not enough people to, so they started marrying each other, and then it just grew and grew, and they just keep marrying each other. My ex-husband is my second cousin.
Really?
I did not marry first cousin, but I did marry second cousin. And none of my children, I have 4 married children, none of them has married their first cousin so far, and I'm grateful for that. But the bloodlines are very limited. There's only a few. Like my grandfather and my ex-husband's grandfather, my ex-husband's parents were first cousins.
Wow.
They're first cousins, and they had, so my husband's mom and dad were first cousins. That means that both their dads were brothers. And then my grandfather was also a brother to those 2 brothers. So these 3 brothers, my children are descended from 3 of these brothers.
Wow. Wow. So now let's come to the main topic now. Why did you break away from that community that you are born into that your parents were into, you were born into, and you lived there for how many years, and you got married there, you have 8 children there. What prompted you? Why the sudden change? Why did you break out? And is there any other people that are willing to take your bold step? And what happened? And what are the implications?
Well, there are not a lot of people who leave because we're brainwashed. We're told that it's evil out there, that we're going to hell if we, if we don't stay, and so it's very terrifying to leave. But at the same time, since when I was a child, I wanted to experience the world. I wanted to drive a car. I wanted an education. I loved going to school. I graduated at the top of my class, and here's my trophy that I got when I ended school, my last day of school.
That was what year? 1985 or something? I'm seeing there. When was that?
Yeah, 1985.
So you were very brave. What age were you then? What age were you? But when you got this?
I was still 13 when I got this. But
13. And the following year you stopped education.
Yeah, because that was in June. School ended in June, and I turned 14 in September. When school started again in September, I didn't go back because I was 14. So I stayed home and helped my mother, and
Don't you think that they have just killed the talent with that? You are a bright student in school. You even got laurels. You got award for being brilliant, and of a sudden the following year you are stopped from going to school because of the doctrine. Don't you think that your talent, sorry to say, has been halted to a level at that point?
Yeah, I think I left because I wanted more education. I left because I wanted to drive a car. I left because I wanted to wear other clothes than what we had to wear. But the main reason that I left was because there is no divorce allowed. You cannot divorce. You cannot separate or divorce. I'm the first person of that particular group to ever divorce. So, but my marriage, I was not happy. Even though we had 8 children, because there's no birth control.
No birth control. No birth control.
There's no birth control. No. So I love my 8 children. I don't regret having my 8 children, other than the fact that I can't see them anymore now that I left. They completely cut you off. As if you decide to leave, it's fine. They don't do anything to you. They don't hunt you, or they don't try to pull you back. But they cut you off. They will, even my children, they won't talk to me. And my parents, my sisters, my 12, my 8 brothers and my 4 sisters, and my 8 children, my hundreds of cousins, my friends, nobody, not one of them will talk to me anymore. I'm completely cut off from them, from their lives. They don't have nothing to do with me now because I left. But at the time I left, I was very depressed. I was so unhappy with my life, and I wanted to write books, which was also not allowed there. I could not write books, and I really had a passion. I believed that God wanted me to write books. He was leading me to write books, and so I started writing books while I was still there. I just decided to go with my own beliefs, and I didn't care what the Mennonites thought. I just did my thing, and this caused me to be shunned, partly. But I felt like I want to follow what God wants me to do rather than human beings, part of it. And also because I was so unhappy with my marriage, and there was no way out. The only way out is to die or leave. There's no other way. So I didn't want to die. I didn't want to kill myself. So I had to leave. And so that's what I did.
So yeah. So how have been your life now after, because as you said, your 8 children are not talking to you, your father, your parents are not talking to you, your other siblings are not talking to you because you left that community, you left that faith. So how have you been faring?
Well, first of all, I went to I made some friends while I was still living there. I bought my computer. But by that point, I didn't care anymore, like what people did or thought about me. They weren't talking to me anymore. So I just did what I wanted to do. I bought a computer, I joined writing groups, I met people online, and I met a woman in person who helped me get into a film school. She helped me get accepted into Toronto Film School. So when I left, I started going to that school, which got closed because of COVID. When we were 5 months in, it got closed because of COVID. Then it went online. But I graduated from the school, and in the beginning it was hard because it was all about writing movies, you know. I was learning to write movies and all this stuff about producing films and stuff, and I had never had a TV or a radio, so it was really hard in the beginning to catch up to all the movies that we were studying and to learn. I didn't know the difference between a series and a feature film and all these things. I had to learn so much, even how to use a laptop and to keep files. I had so much to learn, but in the end, I graduated with honors, so I was
wow.
happy with that.
So your brilliancy in '85 is still there. It's still there for you to showcase your prowess now, because at 1985 you are the best student, and I'm sure by '86 you stopped going to school because of the fate. Now again you came now. I think this is in 2000. I mean, just of recent now.
Yeah, from 1985 to 2019, I did not go to school. All those years, I never went to school. Then in 2019, October 2019, I went back to school, finally, after all those years.
And you graduated with honors.
Yeah, I did.
So the brilliancy has been there all this while. But
Yeah, it was kind of big. I always liked to read. I did read a lot, like anything I could get my hands on. For many years, until my ex-husband, he hated when I read. He didn't like it because he thought I was being lazy, or I was just sitting there reading, and so he would call me lazy and all kinds of names. And so eventually I stopped reading altogether. By the time I left, I didn't read anything. I was like, but I was still interested in everything.
So,
I don't know.
so now you went to a film school.
Yeah.
Is it to write movies, to write movie?
Yeah, I learned a little bit of everything about the movie, like the film industry. Like I learned camera skills and lighting and all those kinds of things, broadcasting, different kinds of writing. But I went there to join their writing program. So the main thing that I did was write movie scripts, like screenwriting. So I wrote feature film. I wrote show, like episodes for shows and things like that.
So which means Savannah Television can still partner with you on getting some films, crew and acting together. Is that possible?
Sorry?
I said which means Savannah Television can partner with you in the aspect of filming, aspect of getting some skits, just to film with you, maybe getting some actors, actresses to join you up and do a film.
Yeah, we should do that.
Okay, thank you very much. We will definitely we will get to that place, and I have some actresses here that are looking for people like you to join hands together and make one or two skits where you can send your messages out. You know,
Well, that would be great. Yeah.
Oh, definitely we will look at that. And also, the Nigerian movie industry are even looking at you right now. They may want to engage you in some films. I'm sure you don't. Maybe you have watched Nigerian movie before. I don't know, but they are watching. They may have a role for you to play with them. For some movie role.
Well, if I can help out, then let me know. I'd be happy to join that.
Okay, Mrs. Luisa. Now, you have told us the implication, and now let me ask you, what is your next line of action now? I mean, of your life? Because, hello, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, the picture still. That's what I'm saying. The picture is still.
Oh. Oh, it's not frozen here.
Okay. What is your next line of action now?
I have to tell you that I don't really know. I have this nanny job, and I'm writing a book which I'm passionate about, and I want to keep doing that. But I'm still, you know, kind of waiting to see where life will lead me, I guess.
Yeah, because you have taken a part of film in the film industry, and that's why I'm telling you now, and the whole world is listening. Because if you have a part of film industry, you are going to school and you excel in filming, I think it's a career path for you too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, definitely. I would like to have a career in the film industry for sure.
Okay, thank you very much. Now I want to ask you just quickly, what is your advice? Are there people like you still in that community that are willing to take the bold step you have taken right now of liberation? Let me put it that way, because it's liberation.
Yeah.
What is your advice how do you want the government to come in making people that wants to have a normal life, a normal education, understand, a normal way of life all over the world, apart from what the Mennonites believe in? What is your advice? What is your advice to the government, and what step do you think can be taken?
Well, I think it is very important to show children support before they leave school, because once they leave school, you're not going to get a hold of them anymore. I think that some children would love to have more education, and if people went into the schools to talk to them and tell them that there is support for them if they want to do that they will have help. You never know what talent you might find there, and I also think that it would be good to have a program in place to help people who want to leave, because it's very scary when you're that sheltered and you're that constricted to this different lifestyle, and you're not used to living in the outside world. It's terrifying to go out there and think about making a living, finding a job, and surviving, and fitting in with the rest of the world when you have had such a different life. And it would be great to have support and help, like with all of that. And the other thing that I would like to say to you is that we should educate these people on marrying, intermarriage. They should encourage them to adopt babies, to get new bloodlines, because they're going to have more health problems, I believe, in time with that much intermarriage. So those are the things that.
Yeah, are you having any plan or vision or dream of having a non-governmental organization, an NGO to fight for this?
I have thought about it. I would certainly be interested in helping anybody if I had the means to help people, and all I can do, there's been one other woman, married woman, who has left since I have been in contact with her. She has gone to school as well to learn some kind of health, natural health thing, and all I can do is talk to them, encourage them, tell them that it's okay. It's not a sin to leave that community. You're not going to hell because you left that community. You have to follow your own heart. You have to do what is in your heart to do that you believe is right for you. You have to follow that and do that no matter what, because that is your life purpose. It's not your life purpose to please these people who have these strange beliefs, and it's your purpose is to follow your own heart and give to the world what God put into your heart to give. And you can't do it if you're living there, you're trapped there, and you only get to work in the house and look after children all your life. that's not what you're meant to do.
Hmm.
I mean, for some people it might be, but for a lot of people it's not.
Hmm. So we should be expecting an NGO group from you where you can have an NGO to fight this cause. Don't you think so?
And what?
An NGO, that is a non-governmental organization that can liaise with the government on how to find some solution. That is to those kids at school that are willing to further their education, where they can come in and sanitize them, educate them, because I'm sure a child of 14 can still say what he wants, what he or she wants. If you say, okay, I want to go to school, I think there should be an NGO that can liaise, that can partner with the government. If any child say, I want to further my education, and they should be able to provide things for that child, either for the government to take them away and give them education. Because I mean, it's unheard that a child of 14 who is brilliant, who knows whether you should have been a doctor by now, or you should have been a pilot or whatever with your brilliancy. Understand? In far back 85, and it was cut short. So why don't you? I think if you guys can come together, have an NGO that can fight that cause, I'm sure it will rescue a lot of child from illiteracy.
I think that for some children, if they had that support and that reassurance that they will be okay, that they will be helped, that, and some of them would. I heard of a girl who wanted to go to high school so badly that she got sick, she got mentally sick. She did get married in the community to a Mennonite boy, and they married, but I was told that she is so sick that she could not even have children because she wants to leave, like she wants to go to school, but she's not allowed to, and she doesn't, I guess, have the courage to just go.
That is where an NGO will work to rescue such people. It's not just like a first thing, but like the story of the lady you said now. Assuming you have an NGO that is partnering with the government, you can bring that case to the government, and I'm sure the government will intervene in calling the lady and asking her what she wants, and the government should be able to provide, or even other organizations to provide what she needs for her to further education. Because to me and to us in Savannah News Television, they have just trampled on her right. Actually, they have trampled on her right, which is not supposed to be at all. Because everybody has the right to education. Everybody on earth has a right. As long as you are interested, nothing should stop you. So like that lady now, I think she needs help. She needs help. And I think people like you that broke away should be able to look for avenues from the government and from other organizations on how to rescue such people.
Yeah. The first thing, the hardest obstacle to overcome will be fighting their beliefs. If they believe that they were going to hell if they leave, that is what is stopping them. They believe this, that they're going to hell if they leave there. So, and I believed it for a long time too, but I finally overcame that. That is the biggest obstacle that any organization would have to fight. That.
Thank you, Miss Loisa. I'm surprised you believe for so long that education is not good. You believe for so long that it's not good to own a car. You believe for so long that you don't have to watch the television, to have a television and a computer or in a house. But thank God you got yourself liberated, and we pray that you use your new belief now, which we know that is you're being liberated, to help other people from that community to live that type of belief. Because when I heard the story and when I met you and you told me the story, I said I won't be the only one to hear this, because it's only in Africa we thought life is still in a primitive circumstance. I never knew that we can have such a community here in Canada that will say there is no education, there is nothing to car, they still ride on horses. Well, we know that yes, our Lord Jesus Christ rode on a donkey, but from the donkey then today the Pope himself, who we believe is head of the Christian, He rides on limousine today. So I'm surprised where the Mennonites got their own idea from. And also, we thank you for seeing the light, breaking away from that end, and we wish you the best in your career. We wish you the best in your life, though we know you have used almost part of your life back with the Mennonites. But we pray that the little one you are going to spend on earth will be a fulfilled one, and we pray that some of your people, your children, will have you to think of joining you in this freedom. Thank you for your time. First of all, lastly, what advice do you have out there for those Mennonites back home?
I would just say to follow your heart, and there is help for you. That's what I would like to say to them.
There's help for them outside.
I wish I could say that to them. Yes.
Okay.
That is fine. That you can survive, and it's not evil, and that's what I'd like them to know.
Yeah, that is not evil. What they are telling them is not evil, because I know they are telling them that they are going to hell and they are afraid of going to hell, which means the whole world is going to hell. Only the Mennonites are going to heaven. Oh my God! Thank you very much, Ms. Rest Bauman, for your time.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. I hope that you learned something new.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and God bless. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we just finished talking to our Amazon of this month. Louisa Bauman has just told us about the faith she was born into, where she found herself for years, and until 2019 when she broke loose from that shackle. And that's why we brought this today to our viewers across the world, that things like this is still happening. And we are still praying that a lot of Mrs. Loisia will find their way out of that bondage called Mennonites, because it's appalling when you say that you don't like education. And I asked her a few questions. You don't have education, but you like to be taken care of by a doctor. How did you think the doctor acquired that skill if it's not through education? But thank God for her life that she find the light. And with our discussion, you see that she's a very brilliant woman. She was the brilliant in her class far back 85. But because of the doctrine, at the age of 14, she stopped schooling. But she came back to school again in 2019 after how many years? And she still excelled in her chosen career. We wish her the best, and we're looking at the movie industry, that you have somebody that can be useful to you in uplifting that industry. Because right now, she went to school and read about movie production, movie acting, and script writing, and she's there to go. But very soon, I'm sure, we're going to partner with her, at least in sanitizing the public, where we find ourselves. Thank you, and have a pleasant week ahead. Right now, it's exactly 2:56 here in Toronto, which I know is over there back home in Nigeria, Africa. It's about 8 p.m. And we promised you that this interview will not last more than an hour. And once again, I thank you, viewers, for staying by us, for listening to this touching story. We'll still get across back to you with other Amazons of our time. And we wish every soul in Nigeria the best, as you people are preparing for a new government in Nigeria. In barely some few hours from now, a new government will be in place, and we pray that it will be a renewed hope, as they said, and we pray that Nigeria will see the light with this new government. Thank you, and God bless all my viewers across the world. I can see you in UK, I can see you in Germany, I can see my viewers across the world listening to this story of the Mennonites. With time, we will still bring across to you, if the need be, to bring back Miss Louisa, to come and talk to us again. Thank you and God bless.
Like and subscribe to our page on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at Savannah News TV. Tune in and watch Savannah News TV. We are live. Savannah News TV. We create awareness about our place in Africa. Savannah News TV. We are distinct, we are focused, we deliver top-notch news in Savannah News TV. Equitable reporting without fear or favor. Savannah News TV. To set positive change for us and our environment is our aim. Savannah News TV. Tune in and watch Savannah News TV. We are live. Savannah News TV. Our CEO Prince Radekonde Oluchimi Jaffa. Savannah News TV. Emileke, I'm a living witness. Keep watching Savannah News TV. Like and subscribe to our page on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at Savannah News TV.